The U.S. education system, a system created by Horace Mann and even founded what started it all, the Common School Journal back in 1838. And since then, there's been many changes along with movements for a right to education arise such as Brown versus Board, Hernandez versus Texas, and the American Indian boarding schools. Since then, many changes have happened. However, is that how teachers and students actually feel? My partner and I went around Tucker High to answer that very question.
The education system is one of the most important things we need to examine because to me, education is one of the most valuable things you'll ever have. It's something that can't be taken away from you. Once you have your learning, once you have your education, it's yours forever. However, if we look at the system and the structure of education, I think all of us can agree there are a lot of flaws and problems happening within that structure today, and that we have not progressed in the same pace and speed that society has progressed.
I feel very strongly about the education system as a person who has been in the field of education as a career for over 24 years now. Being a principal for 14 of those years, I'm excited for the opportunity to support students, but I'm also concerned with where we're going with certain policies and practices in education, where we are currently, but also remain optimistic about some of the possibilities for students that could exist if we're able to put some other things in place to ensure student success at the post-secondary level and particularly at the secondary level as well.
The education system, I feel it's poor and doesn't really help students in making them strive in the real world.
American public students are now well into a virtual school year, and data from around the country is starting to show that middle and high school students are falling behind.
At where we are in education, particularly now post-COVID, as we're coming out of COVID, calls for us to do things a little bit more differently with technology, with the way students are social emotional learning. And I think there's some things we need to do to meet the needs of our students at a higher level. So I think to be better for students and to reach students at their point of need, but also based on some data that we have with the job market, based on what colleges are asking for, the expense that exists with colleges and post-secondary options, and the number of students that we have that don't desire to go to college. We just need to come up with some different options at the school level to meet everybody at their point of need.
I absolutely think that our social and cultural trends should be addressed and not ignored when we are looking at education, because education does not exist in a vacuum. It's supposed to be a mirror of society, and if we're just ignoring a lot of the issues that are happening in society, then we'll continue to see these issues happening.
We're also teachers who feel that need to share their knowledge, their excitement for science and technology, for mathematics, to share it with the world. What is interesting is that the people at the top of YouTube and online video who are spreading education, they are not Harvard or Stanford or big government-supported or major educational institutions. They are individuals. They're people who just took it upon themselves because they needed to share that with the world, and that has resonated with the audience. So I always try to consider, why is it? Why is it that, it's been these individuals, each one of these people has a very unique story about how they just came to make a video on the internet to share an idea with the world. And there's something about that which is just so compelling for those people watching. It's because we're not doing it for the money, and we're not doing it for the mandate or because it works within our organizational framework. We're doing it because we love it. And for some reason, that is finding an audience, and it's really resonating. But I think there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from the people up on this screen, who have been really successful. Those lessons can be learned. I feel like we're at the beginning of this kind of chain reaction. Like the way the slinky starts. It starts with a little bit at the top, and the rest of the slinky is not moving. In a similar way, I feel like we are just at that moment where the disturbance is starting to propagate through our system. And these are the people at the forefront who are really changing the way education happens.
And that's all, folks.